Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's make it a great week, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Manifest your true intentions. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent will manifest through the word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will be manifested through what you say each and every day. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 153, NASDAQ off 30, S&P's off 13, gold contract up $29, trading at $1,350 an ounce. Silver up 24 cents at $21.44 an ounce. Platinum up 11 bucks at $1,458 an ounce. Copper down a penny and a half at $3.22 a pound. Light sweet crude up $2.08 at 104.67 a barrel. Bonds, you have the 10-year up 16 ticks at 126.19. 30-year up 22 ticks at 135.09. King dollar up 355 ticks, trading out at 80.07. The euro is off 68 at 137, and the yen down 39, trading out at 101.41. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. Oh, baby, let me tell you something. Deviant, folks, to the hilt. And this is what it is. So check it out. We know you got the Ukraine deal happening. Market on Friday takes a dive as soon as the market realizes that you get troops going into part of the Ukraine. Comes all the way back. Bottom line, this morning, you have Europe down 2.5%, 3%. Our futures basically down somewhat, but really they really shook it off. And what we have here is this. These highs are going to get tested again. Deviant. So check it out. Cash S&P here, we got down to 1834 today. We only did 631 million shares. Now, that's 631 million, folks. There's a couple different things that happened with the cash S&P. You got down to this 1834. 1836 is a swing. There's a bunch of swings down here because we've been up here the last 2 weeks. Then prior to that, before the downdraft to February 5th, we were up there for a month. The spike that came on Friday is that 1867.92. Well, it looks like it's going to get tested again. If you look at the correlation inside the SPY, I don't expect it to get blown away, but this is the deviance in markets. The SPY, this is what we did. We did 156 million shares today, which is big numbers, okay? That basically was coming against smaller numbers. It was coming against 149 million, okay? Rejected that price, but you have that spike from Friday at that 180. Well, there's 2 different areas here. The first area, which it got into today and rejected, was 185.05. We're at 184.98. I suspect, though, you're going to somehow, some way, this 187.15 wants to get hit. We go over to the Dow Industrials, so that's your S&P. You go over to the Dow Industrials down $1.53. We're at 16,168. We were at the low today was 16,071. And ICE on the Dow Industrials, folks, is at 16,372. That area wants to get tested also. Now, NASDAQ Composite. We go over to the Composite. We take a look at the Composite. Composite out here got down to a price point of 42.39. It closed out at 42.77. And the Composite also is saying, guess what? It's going to try to make a run for that 43.42. I suspect we did 2 billion shares versus the 2.6 on Friday. You had option expiration, but it doesn't matter. Bottom line, you get some juice up there, wants to get tested. If we take a look at the 3 Qs, and this is where the deviance in the market comes in, because I'll bring you over to Europe in a second. If you take a look at the 3 Qs, this is what you have. The Index 100, using the 3 Qs, got down to $88.87. We did it on 37 million shares. It was coming against 42 million shares. The low of the 42 million shares is 89.49 rather. We got to 88.87 and you're at 89.67. So you rejected that lower price, had slightly lighter volume, and you have the spike that's out there from Friday, and it's just the deviance inside the market. So, gold. Let's go to gold, and then we'll go over to Europe. So if we take a look at gold, this is what you have with gold. And this is where divergence is. We have divergence in the gold market, too, and this is what it is. The actual gold contract did 153,000 contracts. Now, that's a decent number. What has happened is that if I take the correlation of how taking out the swing, guess what? It has the volume. You took that, so it's like, okay, do you really have an ABC structure on the way up here? You very well could if it is an ABC structure. And the physical gold, meaning in the future, you're talking about 1419 and that in the actual physical. But now watch what happens when you go to the GLD. So the correlation, so they can check this correlation out. When you get into the GLD, we certainly had 11 million shares. You really needed 24 million, though. We're going into 12 million, but what we're also going into right now, and it's the April downdraft, folks. That is the number. That April downdraft is vicious. And when we take a look at it, what you're going to see, and the volume did die on the vine out here, because earlier in the day, in the GLD, at approximately at 10:30 Eastern Time, at 11:30 Eastern Time, 2 hours, 2 hours into it. At 11:30 Eastern Time, we had already had 6.5 million shares traded. We only ended up doing 11.7, so the volume died off dramatically. See, we're going into a 93 million downdraft. That 93 million downdraft, folks, is from April. So now if we go to the gold equities, what you'll see, I'll go to Rheingold Resources first. What does Rheingold do? Rheingold gets as high as 83.28. It closes at 82.42. You had some juice come in, Rheingold, meaning some volume, but you are going into a monster out here. You're going into, let's see, you got so many spikes out here. We're going into 1.7 million, and we did 1.3 million. And Rheingold's the only one who managed to get over the highs. You know, the rest of them, the rest of the gold equities, what they did is that they tried to get some juice in them. They couldn't get any juice in them. That correlation basically, to me, is still saying that, guess what? Gold is not done going down. And in this correlation of Ukraine and the whole thing, this is just a sweet trading market. That's what you have. Now, bonds. Let's go over to the bond market. So what we have with the bonds is this. 10-year bond launched. We did 1.8 million shares out here. The swing point in the 10-year is 126.25. And guess what? Guess what we hit? 126.24. We got juice behind these things, man. These things want to launch, and I suspect next few days you're going to see the 10-year launch. And when that launches, that 126 area, that's going to bring it up to a 131 yield. That's going to bring it up to a 131 number, which right now the 10-year is yielding 2.599. That would bring it down to about a 2.2. We go take a look at the 30-year bond. The 30-year bond is already launched. That launched 2 days ago. What we have with the 30-year right now is that did 584,000 contracts today, which is a big number. 134, let me just see this, 127, $7, yeah. So the 30-year right now is on its way to 141. And remember, the 141 level in the 30-year, that is just actually bringing that up to ice, but it's a heck of a counter-trend bounce. So, I think rates are going down anyway. But at this point, it's still a counter-trend bounce because until it proves it can get over the aspect of the 141, that's all it is. Now, King Dollar. Let's go over to King Dollar. So, what do we have at King Dollar? King Dollar out here today, she is up 36 cents. She's at 80.80. She does volume of 22,000 contracts. She is almost back inside, well, she is back inside the higher range. So, King Dollar wants to make that run up to this 81.52 area. Now, let's go to Europe. So, if you go over to Europe and you want to see divergence, this is what it is. The FTSE was down 1.5% today. The DAX was off almost 3.5%. Both of those were coming down with juice, folks, okay? you know, and our markets basically did not correspond to it. That's the deviance that we have inside that market. You stay right there. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. We're going to be coming right back. Bisecting and dissecting this baby. The Dow finished down 153. NASDAQ off 30. S&P's off 14.2. We're going to be right back.